I just barely got done eating 4,000 calories. And it was freaking glorious. I haven't eaten that many calories in a long time, and I haven't like just like ate whatever. It was fabulous. I'm probably gonna go to the B6 toxicity police. They're probably gonna lock me away. All the bad things I did today that my body will hate. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel I just have to live. Even though like I cry about it and like I don't really have a good time when like I go off of, I deviate from the plan. I do feel like sometimes I just need an almond croissant. My friend Michelle from New York City, we met in college. She spells it with one L. I don't know why, but I think that that's nice. I typically get along with other Michelles. I don't know why I need to tell you that, but yeah, that's something. I usually have this weird like camaraderie with other Michelles. When I was in college, I used to like search Michelles with like my last name and like befriend them, like send them friend requests. I was so annoyed at them for like denying my friend request. I was like, don't you see what we have in common? Shouldn't you want to be friends with me? But like sometimes they would placate me for a little while, and they would be friends with me for like, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year, and then they'd unfriend me. I never unfriended one of them. I was like, I just want to know what you're like. Anyways, I just want to tell you like really weird stuff about my life today. I don't want to like do like this whole video. I just want to like talk to you about different kinds of thought processes that I had throughout the day, because I think that would be an interesting video just to like invite you to my randomness in my head. It's kind of like a what's in my bag, but like what's in my brain. So I think that's what we're gonna do, because I had a lot of weird, interesting stuff today. So like I just barely ate 4,000 calories, and it was mostly like French bakery stuff, which is kind of like sort of why I'm dressed like this, but we will get to that in a second. But that just barely happened, so I have to rework how I'm thinking about things, because obviously it starts in the morning, and right now is 6:30, so I have to catch you up. You're very behind. So I set my alarm. I typically wake up with like no alarm. I usually wake up around like 8:05, and then like if I'm really tired and dragging ass, between like 8:05 and like 10. Sometimes I have insomnia, really weird insomnia, and then I wake up super early at like 4. You don't really care about that, but today was one of those days that I slept right until my alarm. But I set my alarm because I've been watching Emily in Paris with my friend Michelle. Because I got Netflix. I typically dislike having Netflix because it's like such a like an unmotivating thing for me, because like I want to watch all the things, because they have like all the things that you can watch. There's so much variety there, especially if you get Netflix like once every 6 months or something. It's not that cool if you like have it you know, keep the subscription, because you can binge watch too many things, and all of a sudden you can feel like there's nothing. Kind of like when there's a full closet full of clothes and you feel like you have nothing to wear. But if you wear the same stuff every single day, suddenly when you have a date, you have a whole plethora of things that you can just try on. That's kind of me. I just wear athleisure all day. So I got Netflix because Michelle wanted to watch some sort of movie, and with the friends that I love, I usually like watch movies from afar with them. We'll like push play at the same time, and then we'll text each other our commentary. It's like one of the things that I do to like, I don't know, I like to be like in connection with them, and it's fun. It's like very low key, but it's also like enjoyable because you're doing something at the same time. It's almost as good as watching something side by side, except for maybe sometimes better because like there's more commentary. If it was just like her and I side by side, we'd be quiet. But because it's from afar, we have to like text each other. and therefore the commentary. It's so much more fun when the movie is bad. Just like, trust me, when you can roast the movie and you're just like, why am I wasting my time on this? Well, it's because you get to roast it with your friends, right? Like, I feel like, I don't know, I really lucked out hard with those kinds of movies lately. So I got Netflix for this movie, this terrible movie that Michelle wanted to watch. And because I have it for a month, I'd already canceled it. Because I have it for a month, I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch something. So Michelle was like, why don't you just watch Emily in Paris? I've been trying to tell you about Emily in Paris for like, I don't know, years. And I'm notorious with like not watching like shows until the end. Like, ever. I think one of the only like series that I've ever finished was Game of Thrones, or maybe I didn't even finish Game of Thrones. I just watched up until like the last 2 or 3 episodes, and I just like it not concluded. It's really weird to me, but I just give up on it because like I don't want it to be done, and then that's it. Like, sometimes honestly when I'm watching like a show, I will enjoy it so much, like they'll say something and then I will enjoy it so much that I have to like pause the show for like an hour-long show or whatever in a series that I'm watching. I'll pause it after something really interesting or witty was said, and I'll think on it for like a little while. And like, had I been doing this with like another person, it would have been highly annoying. But because I'm just like, you know, in my own apartment doing my own thing, I can just do this all I want. So I pause it and I like savor it, and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. And sometimes if it's a really hot scene, I'll like go back and watch the same makeout scene for like 2 or 3 times. Not because I want to like watch people make out, but because like I want to see how they captured, how like the cinematographers or whatever, the director, the producer, the executive producer, how they created this tension. Like, is it the actors? Is it the writing? Like once I like look at it, I'll be like, wow, that was great. Cause like I've seen actors have like 0% like on-screen chemistry, and like some new ones. That's why I always feel like love movies, they should always be acted by like up and coming people who are like really trying and going for it hard, rather than like, oh, this is like my 20th $10 million film, right? Like, they don't really care. So I really want to see them go at it if it's supposed to be some sort of like passionate thing or like emotion-filled thing. Anyways, I feel like we've already deviated from my main topic, which was nothing, but this is how my mind works. So like, I savor it and I like think about it, and then like once I've had like the feeling of like, oh, that was good, I want to know how they created that. So like on the 5th time, I'm like looking at like what's in the background, you know, like I'm demystified by that point. I'm trying to figure out like how they created it. But like the first time, if it gets me, that's why I'll listen to a song. If a brand new song like actually like captures my attention and I don't hate it the first time around, I will listen to it all day. And I'll be like, what does this mean? What does this mean from this person's perspective? And by like the 3rd or 4th listen, I'll like go look up like if the person singing it actually wrote it. And then sometimes I'll get like really excited about it if they've written it, and then I'll want to know about them as a person. Like sometimes I'll try to look up for like really interesting interviews, and if they're like a really strange, like kind of creepy person, I'll like totally dump the song and I'll be like, I don't know about this. But if they're like creative and fun, then I'll like continue to like them. And sometimes I even follow them on my secret Instagram account. Just to like remember that feeling. But I don't really do anything with it because I don't even go on the Instagram account, but I'll just like pin it in my mind that this was an interesting person, and just be like, come back to see what else they create. So that's what I do with films, that's what I do with shows, that's what I do with things. So anyways, I woke up this morning ready to go to a bakery. I got it in my head that I needed to like do something other than like paint the walls in my apartment. I've been filling the little walls, the wall holes. I made 1,000 wall holes because I had like shadow boxes all over my room, and it's all so sad. Everything's gone. And I'm looking at my Do you hear the geese? I'm looking at my floating bookshelves in my living room here, my little plants, and there's nothing on the floating shelves, and it's kind of creepy. It's very barren. It's very skeletal, my apartment right now. And I don't know if you can hear it, it's like way more echoey. This background is probably gonna stay until I leave, so you're not really gonna miss like a lot of what's going on, because it's gonna just be how it was. But just know that in the background, it's all destroyed. So, long way of saying, I have overestimated how long it would take me to get to bare bones in my apartment, and underestimated my ability to be bored, because I can't push gung-ho with my business ideas, because I've destroyed them and crippled them and taken them all apart. I have so many things listed. I've thread up. I'm really excited about that. The potential of making all those sales with all those things that were just sitting there doing nothing. The first bag has already been processed, and there's like 5 things that have already sold, and I'm like, yes. It hasn't sold for very much, but it's sold for more than 0, which was what was happening here. So I'm like, I think I did the right thing. But anyways, I woke up today feeling like I had to make use of like my environment, and I had to go participate in the real world. Sometimes I like to participate in just like my little pretend world over here and just mull over things all day, anything I want. And sometimes I gather inspiration from like the real world. So as I said, I went to a bakery today. I didn't know what time I was gonna go to the bakery, but I knew I wanted to wear something like French inspired. This is actually a cashmere blend sweater that I was trying to sell for like 2 years, 3 years. It has a hole in the sleeve, and it was like size small, which I never thought that I could fit into because that's not my size. But it was interesting because it's oversized and it's so cozy, and it was never selling, so I just decided to wear it, and I thought that this would be a perfect French inspired outfit after watching Emily in Paris. I don't know if I'll watch the whole thing of Emily in Paris. I don't really care about it too much, but it fits the need for right now, this weird in-between where like I can't go gung-ho on something, and like it's okay to just wake up and like think that, you know, I'm gonna spend my time going to a bakery instead of spending my time doing something else productive. It's okay to be not productive right now is what I'm saying. So I broke the restraints of my idea of what my body could fit into by just trying it on. I don't know why I didn't try it on in the beginning, but I just tried it on. It felt really comfortable. It felt really nice. So I'm gonna keep it. So now it's mine instead of somebody's potential sweater. So the first thing that happened this morning was I woke up and I was like, oh, I have to deal with this thing. I have to deal with this thing that I was kind of like sort of avoiding. So I had a date with somebody, I don't remember, 2 or 3 days ago. We had a really interesting date. By interesting, I just mean that he let me talk about whatever I wanted, and he just kind of like went with it. So like I do my normal thing, I think sometime I will do like a video on what it's like to like kind of interact with me, like once you've already matched me, like what it's like to like go on a date with me, like what are the kinds of things that I talk about, what are the kinds of things that I bring up as far as questions or what I'm trying to get at, rather than you know, things that people normally ask, because like I deviate really far from the norm, so it's like an acquired taste when you go on a date with me. But anyways, sometimes I find really fun ones that are intellectual, and I could try different things with them. So this one was intellectual, but we had some really interesting talks, and we hung out and it was fine, except for I kind of like a little bit got bored of just having like my own questions be thrown back at me. And I also kind of got a little bit bored by, if I'm just being blunt, just being like used like for like my sexiness. I feel like if I demonstrate that I have like range, like I'm not just like a sex pot, you wouldn't think that right now, but like I can be like that if I want to be. I can be really serious, I can be really goofy, I can be whatever, just like most people can. But I feel like sometimes people just pick that to like latch onto, and they just try to get more and more and more and more and more of that. Like I'm open about everything. I'm open about, hey, I think this. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I have experienced this. And you know, whatever topic that I'm talking about, I'm not just talking about sex. I'm not just talking about my career. I'm not just talking about blah, blah, blah. Like I really sprinkle it all in. We have like interesting talks, but whenever it comes time to like what they decide to be interested in talking to me about, because I'll bring up the variety of topics, but they'll only bring up like 1 or 2 topics, and it's always sex. Like once they see that I'm kind of like free with that, they're like, oh God, this girl, we're gonna go really hard on that topic. So I just get bored of that, honestly. So it's like, ugh, you're just so lazy, and I hate that. It's like I showed you my range and you just pick this, and it's like, yeah, I understand that it's like enjoyable, but like it's not enjoyable for me like all the time. It's enjoyable sporadically. I find it thoroughly enjoyable, but it's like not the only thing. Like I want you to like be enticing to me. I want to be like warmed up to that, rather than like try to get me to like do that all day every day just because you know that I'm capable of that. I showed you that I was capable of all different kinds of things, but that's the only thing that they want to activate. It's like, I hate that. So anyways, this guy threw back my own question at me. I asked something of him, and then he just says, and you? This is after we've already had interesting dates, so I knew his capability of his range was like pretty complex and pretty out there. And so I just knew that he was being lazy. And so I just ignored him. I read it and then I ignored it, because I felt no need to just be like, I hate that you just said that. So I just like left it. I didn't even feel bad. That's the thing. It's like you're trying to use me for like, you know, just because you're horny at like, I don't know, midnight. And I just don't feel like participating in that like right now. And it just feels stupid, and I don't want to. And I feel like that's perfectly fine to like not want to, just because he wants that. So I waited until the morning, and I saw that like I had to deal with that. So in the morning after I woke up, I was like, okay, we're gonna go to a French bakery. We're gonna wear that stripy sweater. And then I might wear red lips and no makeup. No makeup, because like I feel like my skin has been doing really well and I don't want to add too much makeup, so I only have sunscreen on today. I was like planning my day. I was like, okay, step 1, I have to explain to this guy why I don't like this. How do we say that in the nicest way? I don't know. I have a real problem with saying things in a nice way, but also saying things clearly. So typically I just decide to say things clearly instead of nicely. So I just said it like point blank. I just said, I don't enjoy answering questions that I've already asked you. I feel like it's lazy, and I don't really like that, because I'm trying to have fun conversations with you at this point, not boring conversations. And I'm giving you a lot and you're giving me nothing. So I didn't respond. And then he's like, yeah, that's fair. And then we haven't talked all day. So I felt like that was dealt with. Was it dealt with the best way? No. Do I care? No. because I just felt like it was honest. And I feel like I don't really have to, like, they're already like being a little bit rude to me by reducing me down to like just my sexuality and like wanting to get something from me at like midnight, right? They're not asking like really interesting questions that are thought-provoking or whatever, that are like fun for my mind at like midnight. They're not trying to get to know me. They're trying to, like, you know, get what they want. So I can just be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that, and this is why. This is what I want from you, and you're not giving it to me, so I'm not going to give you it, and so therefore I'm going to ignore you. But instead of like ignoring to the point of ghosting, I'm like, this is why I feel you fucked up, and I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Goodbye. Old me would have just been like, you need to respond to this person immediately when they respond to you. And you need to give them what they ask for. That was super old me. Now I just kind of assess it. Do I really need to do that, what they're asking? No. And then I assess it on the second line of thinking. It's like, do I want to? Sometimes I do want to, even if I don't need to. And sometimes I don't want to and I don't need to. You know? Like, there's a whole bunch of different ways that I could do things. And I just didn't feel like this was like really worth it. So that was dealt with, and I felt better about it. And so then I got in the shower. But before I got in the shower, I listened to, before that, let's back up a little bit. I watched some Vanity Fair interview with Winona Ryder. That's one of my favorite things to do in the morning. And I'm not particularly interested in her. I just know that she's done some really interesting characters, and I don't really know too much about her, but I do like to know about creative people. And some of the most like interesting creative people I find are artists, musicians, or actresses and actors. I feel like they sometimes have a way about them that it's like the art is their way of like being, and they think creatively. And I like to, as I'm eating, to begin my day with thoughts from creative people. And so when I was listening to like the explanation of the different types of roles that Winona Ryder has played, and like the character development, and like the different kinds of things that they did in order to build that character, I like to see like the whys, and I like to see their artistic choice, and I like to see like how they decide to build a career, like the creative choices that make that, and which ones they're really proud of. And you can always tell which ones are like doing it for the art, or which ones are just like, piece of the crap, right? So I felt like Winona was like, I don't know, she's so understated, she's so lovely and weird. So I enjoyed that, and so I went to go shower. Once my thing with the dude was dealt with, I went to go shower. And so then after that, there was a video. This is what I love about like YouTube, and this is what I love about algorithms sometimes, is that it will play you something that's related, and I wouldn't have like thought of that. And I feel like that's how my mind works. My mind is like, obviously I'm telling you whatever comes to mind, but it's always like a little bit attached to something that I've just talked about. It's not like fully just like random and weird. There's always like some sort of trail and loop and thing. It all makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to you because you don't live in my head. But I'm just trying to invite you in. So this is the thought process of, all right, I'm gonna listen to an Ethan Hawke TED Talk. And I was like, what the hell does Ethan Hawke have to say? And so I get in the shower and I wash my hair, and I'm trying to use up all of my little fancy shampoos because I don't have to pack them. But then I have this conundrum where like I don't want to use up all my little fancy shampoos. I want them to like stay kind of full. And so I have this weird dilemma of like needing to get rid of them to be efficient, but also to savor them. It's kind of a weird thing. So I'm putting like a little too much, you know, of my cheap conditioner, and not enough of my like expensive but lovely shampoo that I'm trying to like savor. And I'm not getting any of those goals really like checked off the box, but I'm still just having my shower and I'm listening to him. And I like, one of the main things that he talked about was how art is perceived as like foofy. It's like an afterthought. It's like people go throughout their life and they look to art only when they need to express themselves, because sometimes people can't express themselves. So that you look to like your favorite song if you're in heartbreak, or if you're in love. This is like, oh, you show somebody something and it instantly conveys this thing. But it's like a universal language of an expressed thought or feeling that everybody can just understand, because the art is self-explanatory at that point sometimes when it's just so good. So that's what movies can do, and that's what art can do. And everybody just thinks that art is this fuddy-duddy thing, but it's like really like this, like the glue that like connects people that shouldn't really be connected by like other things, right? We're all connected by this universal thing, especially if you yourself are bad at explaining your own emotion. So I thought that was profound. Like, I've thought about that before. I was like, why do people turn to art? Like, why do people turn to music so much? Like, they're so obsessed with music. They're not really obsessed with like window panes or something. What about art? I always think about that. It's like, why aren't they obsessed with like plants the way that they're obsessed with art? And when you compare two things like that, you really begin to understand what art is to people and what plants are to people, and you can see the difference, right? So I like to start my morning with like creative thought, and I like to start my morning with like people who are passionate about their creative thought. And so that's how I randomly start my morning, but it also has to hit on spontaneous, and it also has to hit on like, I'm not bogged down by like something in my real life. Like, I don't waste my shower time thinking about all the things that I have to pack. I'll just do that during my day, and I don't really need to like, okay, here's a list of all the things I need to do, blah, 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 blah. And it's because I have free time to do it. So I don't need to be efficient in my shower. I can kind of like play and think about art, right? Ethan also touched upon something that I talked about with the dude on the date. It's like, children remember how to play, and adults don't anymore. And I was asking the guy that I went on a date with, I was like, what age do you think is like the age in which people stop doing that? And he said 12, like around 12. And I think that was a good guess, because like that's around the time that you become self-aware that you're like getting cues from the world and like your behavior. Like, when does like play get like taught out of you? So I think he was kind of right, but I think it probably starts earlier than then. But I wish people would like allow for play, even if you're like playing. And like the point that Ethan was making was that like kids build sandcastles not because they think they're the best at building sandcastles. So they're not picking play just because like they know that they're good at it. They just play because they want to play, because it is play, and it's just fun even if they suck at it. Like, the whole goal is to like just do it, not to like be the best. And I feel like people, older people, they only play if they can be the best. They'll only put some effort in if they can be the best, or if they can be good at it. I wish more people did things that they were bad at, right? Even if it's just for fun. So anyways, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the different types of like questions that I ask, and the different types of like things that I want to know about people. And it's like, why don't other people want to know this about other people? Like, surely you must like be curious, but like, why don't people ask? So I have dates where like we talked about like, is our unsolicited dick pics appropriate? When would they be appropriate? When would they not be appropriate? Are unsolicited like girl pictures or whatever appropriate or not appropriate? Why is there a difference if there is a difference? And it's just like, I'm not talking to like bring up like a sexual like thing. I'm talking because I'm genuinely curious, and this is the one time that I can actually talk to like a human being about this, but it's like a dude perspective, so it's different. So I'll talk about those types of things, but I'll also talk about like, at what age do you think that like people lose their play? I feel like that's really interesting to ponder. So anyways, I was thinking about that in the shower. I was like, I really want to play today. So I didn't know what time I was going to go to the bakery, but I knew that I wanted to, because I wanted to send Michelle a picture of me with my baked goods. And I was really inspired, because like I just get in my like little bubble of like, I have to get this done. I have to get the moving thing done. I have to get my apartment set up so that I can get my security deposit back. Like all these things. And I just get bogged down by like daily stuff, and I kind of forget to just like enjoy what I have here while I still have it. And it's impractical. It's impractical to like drive an hour out of my way for like no good reason other than I want to go to a bakery and wear my cashmere blend sweater that I got in my inventory that I'm not going to sell anymore, that has a hole in the arm. Right? Like I knew I wanted to do these things, but it's like impractical. Like I still have, like I want to incorporate impractical into my life. That's actually another one of the topics that I talked about with the dude. The dude that I went on the date with, the one that is only using me for sexual things. And I'm kind of just like avoiding that whole situation. But when we were having a fun talk at dinner, we talked about efficiency versus practicality. And I kind of told him all the different ways that I incorporate impractical into my life just because. And I know it's stupid. But I like it to be stupid, if that makes any sense. Not everything has to be like efficient. I feel like I'm so efficient in some things that I can allow my life and my things and the things that I do to be impractical on purpose, just to like enjoy life. So I enjoyed life today. There's two different competing universities here. And one of the universities I really love. And one of the universities I didn't like when I first got here. And the whole reason I'm telling you this is because I went to the city that has the university today that I really love. And I actually hated it. That doesn't make any sense. So let's back up. When I was in high school, I rooted for this basketball team. And I was like, yes, I love them so much. I didn't know anything about them. I just knew that I loved them as a team. And so when I moved here, I was so excited. I was so excited because I moved here within like, I don't know, a short drive, and I could actually go visit the campus that those people played on. And that was so magical to me because it was like, I was in awe. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is so close to something that was like super important to me my whole life. Well, most of my like high school life, pretty much in college, and then I kind of gave up on that whole thing. It lingers in my head that I still like it. So I was super excited to live next to these really two famous universities that were competing with this thing. So I was like, wow, I actually should just go visit. I like to visit Whole Foods because it's consistent. I know exactly what I will get, but I get to like visit this city that has the Whole Foods. So I'll just like, I don't know, I'm a really weird person as you can see, but like I like to visit different Whole Foods and see what is in their local sections for each thing, and I just like it. So I got it in my head that I was gonna go visit. I might go to the bookstore and buy like a sweatshirt from like the university that I like thought that I really loved. The other university that is competing with them that I didn't really love is actually closer to me. And I visit that Whole Foods that's attached to that university in that community all the time. And I love it there. I brought my friend there with me and we ate lunch, and I visit there all the time. And like, if there's one thing that I will miss when I'm here in the South, is just going to that Whole Foods and just like sitting there in like that community. The Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods here, it's such a vibe. It's so like small town, but like also like insanely proud of that university. I don't know how to describe it other than like it just feels magical because it's just so big. So like when I got here in this state, I like didn't know that my like high school version of like which university I should have like been rooting for the whole time, well, they were like total douchebags. So anyways, I spend most of my time, because it's closer, in the rival area, just because it's closer. But today I was like, I'm going to go pick a French bakery randomly, and then because the French bakery is close to a Whole Foods, I'm going to go visit that Whole Foods. And I visited the Whole Foods like one time, and it was like really sketch, like a sketch area, and I was like, this is a pristine regal university, and to have like sketch neighborhood like, you know, like around there, it was like shocking. So I don't know why I'm telling you this, other than I was trying to do a little bit of like what I always wanted to do here. I do a little bit of my normal routine. My normal routine is the Whole Foods thing, but I wanted to like go check off a few more bakeries, but I also wanted to connect the bakery thing with the Emily in Paris thing, and to like, I don't know, I feel alive next to universities too. There's like just so, it's so nostalgic for me because it was such like an eye-opening time for me, as far as like your mind is being prepped for this amazing journey, and you don't know that this journey really sucks quite yet, but you're really, really hopeful when you're in college. And you're just like, I can change the world, right? But like you're around other people that can like change the world. And these universities that I'm talking about, they're quite prestigious. So it's like wowing to just like, oh, I'm just driving through campus, like just nonchalantly. And I'm just like, whoa, I'm this small town girl just kind of like driving around this like real freaking campus, trying to find their Whole Foods in this like ghetto kind of neighborhood. And like, what is my life? How did my life get so random that like this is my life? My last like week and something here, this is what I'm doing with my time. I'm filling holes in the wall, and while that dries, I'm wearing, you know, sunscreen and a sweater, and I'm just sending it on, visiting this weird university that I don't typically go to because it's a tiny bit further, but today I wanted to. And I just remember thinking about it, just being like, I picked the wrong university to like root for. This university is beautiful, and like I still think that the team is like really great, but like the vibe is just not it. The vibe is just gross. And I just remember thinking about it like in the car, being like, if I didn't come here and if I didn't know this, I would still be happily like rooting for them as if they were like the better of the two, and it's not. It's just not so. Now I have more context. Everybody here hates them. You have to be like a secret closet fan. And I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. They're like seen as like massive douchebags. And like the other college is just like so much better. Like you can openly root for them. And I just didn't understand why. Like the vibe with like the other college is so different. And I've only just like driven through the campuses. I've taken like kind of like a lot of different drives around the campuses, both campuses now. And I've watched the people come out of class. I see what they do and how they arrange their campus. One, it looks like medieval like brick buildings, and then one is like sunny and sprawled out, and it's just like, oh, it's just so nice. It's just like visually you can see the difference. I don't know, you can just feel it. You can feel it in the way that people like walk across the crosswalks. You can feel it in the way that the city is arranged around these campuses. One, it's like the prestigious one is like off to the side, and it's like hidden. It's like away from like the rest of like the dinginess around it. Like everything within it is pristine, but like all around it is like really like not good. It's like really run down. But in the other one, it's like open, and like people are happy, and people are driving in and out of there all the time. It's very like woven within the city. I don't know. I rooted for the wrong team. But it's just because I didn't have any context. I didn't know they were douchebags, right? So I thought about that. I don't know if that means anything, but I did think about that for a while. I just saw the difference. It's like, I feel like it really does matter. It does matter for life experience, and it does matter for context, and it does matter to like see things with your own eyes. Because you don't get any of that. You don't see any of the difference if you don't see both of those things. So I thought about that. And then I went to the Whole Foods. The Whole Foods was like very disappointing. But I had a really great time because like disappointing because like the store was like run down. It's like not a nice store. But the outside, I just enjoyed all of my things that I like bought. And I ate outside. I never eat outside because it's so hot here, but it's like perfectly weird today. And like the sun was just shining, but not shining like intensely. And it's actually like cool enough to like just enjoy being outside. And there's somewhat of a breeze. So it's like I'm just trying to like have these experiences rooted in the traditions that I typically do. I always go to a Whole Foods, but I'm trying to have a different experience. So I'm just trying to experience it all before I leave. Something really weird happened at the bakery though. I don't tend to like read reviews or anything. What I typically do for like how to pick where I go is I base it upon the name. And if I can't judge it by the name, I'll base it upon like how good their Instagram is. Like if their social media is like really terrible, I won't even bother. I know that's probably bad, but if it like looks amazing, like I eat with my eyes, right? Because I can't eat with my taste buds. So I want to have a great experience. And so like I don't really do too much digging. So like most of the time I'll just go and base it on the name. So back in February when it was my birthday, I had my friends pick like little scavenger hunt places for me to go to. And there's only a certain amount of time in the day, and there's only a certain amount of things that I could eat before like being really full and eating too much sugar that day, because I don't really eat that. But I gave them a little task to find me bakeries to go to, and then I would go to them and I would send them pictures of like proof that I went to the things that they wanted me to go to. But it was fun for me because I didn't pick, right? It was fun for me because I invited them into like my little birthday thing. They weren't spending my birthday with me, but they were like influencing it in a different way than just like saying happy birthday to me. It was a way to connect with them after, to say like, hey, the thing that you picked sucked, the thing that you picked was great, and this was an experience that I wouldn't have had you not said that to me. I love spontaneous like that. So when I was deciding what Emily in Paris kind of bakery that I wanted to go to, I knew I wanted to go to a more traditional one. I tried to pick one that had like a lot of, I think it's called Viennoiserie. I don't know, I could be like messing that up. It's when they have a lot of lamination pastries, like croissants, brioche, like those kinds of things where they have to do a lot of layers and butter and dough and stuff like that. Viennoiserie. I could be making it up. But anyways, I tried to pick ones that would have like the classic things. So what was fun is I saw that I was gonna go to the city that had like the university that I really love. And I picked bakery in that city. And on the list of bakeries in that city, once I put it in maps, I just picked like bakery near this, and then it gave me like a list of obviously bakeries near there, and then I picked the one that I knew I remembered from the list that my friends gave me that I wasn't able to make that day, and I was like, I should go there. That's something I should just do. I had no plans to do that, but I was like, that's what I should do with my day. Like just having like the room to like just make it up on the spot, you know? Like I am so like lucky to be able to do that. And I'm lucky to be able to do that because, you know, I don't really have to do like my normal life right now because I'm in between this weird stuff. But I didn't want to just like waste my in between weird stuff life. I wanted to make use of it. So I wanted to go on dates where I talked about dick pics, and I wanted to go on like weird self dates where I buy things that I shouldn't be eating because it's gonna like ruin my B6 diet situation, but I still wanted to go do it, right? Like I wanted to go do it. So I did it. I visited that campus and I went to the bakery, but when I went to the bakery, something really strange happened. I pulled into the parking lot and I saw that my bakery was attached to this other building, and it was a shared building with a bookstore. And immediately I recognized this bookstore. So when I first got here on Tinder, I found this guy who I thought was cute, and he looked like an owner of a bookstore. And I like kept like scrolling through his pictures. I wasn't really super interested in him. But like I liked that he was a business owner and he was local. And in one of his pictures on Tinder, he had a shirt that was super cool from the bookstore. Like the graphic or whatever was really interesting. I actually really liked it. I think the graphic was on the side of the shirt or something. It wasn't like a graphic that was here. I'm not really a fan of like logo or something right here. But if it's weird, if it's like up the sleeve or like on the neckline or like, I don't know, if it's weird like that, I just like it. I think it's really fun. So he had his bookstore t-shirt on with like a really cool graphic. And I was like, you know what? I don't really like him. I'm not gonna match with him, but I'm gonna go and like go to his website and see if I can buy that shirt. So I went to his website and I wanted to support his business. And then like I ordered the shirt, and like a week and something later it shows up, but it's like the shirt that has like graphic here, and it was so ugly. I was like, ugh. I didn't want to like try to get my money back because the whole point was to like support him, and like I hope that his bookstore does really well, because like I don't know, I feel like you should support local people that are trying to do interesting things. So he was trying to curate like a boutique kind of little bookstore thing. So I gave it to my dad, and he wears it all the time. And every now and then whenever I see him, my dad, on FaceTime and he's wearing that bookstore shirt, I just like smile, because that originated from Tinder, right? That whole thing originated from Tinder because I saw it on some dude and I liked the graphic, but then the wrong shirt came. So like I just liked that. But that was the bookstore right there at that bakery that I wasn't going to go to, that I just ended up going to, and it was on the list that my friends had given me, right? And like it was just weird that it's like all connected like that. So before I left, I got to see where that bookstore was. I didn't go in because like I didn't really want to see that dude. Obviously he doesn't remember me, but yeah, so I thought that was interesting. So I like little things like that, and I thought about little coincidences like that in the car. I like strange things like that. What does it mean? It means nothing. But I like little strange things like that because it feels like I did the right thing today. Does that make any sense? It feels connected in a weird like, oh, my weird sporadic was like useful today. I thought about art. I thought about what's the right thing to do as far as presenting myself to this person that I don't want to talk to because I feel like they're using me for the wrong things, right? Like I thought about all these things in the car about the university. I thought about all these things about my life, things coming to a close, but like enjoying them. Like not being so bogged down by like the stress of things coming to a close, and just like realizing that I need to like probably go watch some Emily in Paris on my porch tonight because it's beautiful out, right? I want to play with people. I feel so lonely sometimes. I want to play with people, but I feel like everyone is asleep. I often feel like that. And so I wait for people. I wait to see if they're awake. I don't always just want to play. But I do always want to be like creative curious. I feel like there's always, oops, sorry, that was my ankle. I feel like I do always want to like experience that when I have time. I didn't even do anything that was like that extraordinary today, right? Like, but I feel like it was just really fun. The thing is, like, they're awake when I wake them up. And then they go back to sleep. I want to know what makes you you. I want to know like what kind of weird time you would wake up to if you didn't have to wake up to an alarm. What would you do with your day if you could just pick it how you wanted? Right? Like, I want to know these things. What's the most impractical thing about you? What's the weirdest thing you do that you think that nobody would like ever find out? Do you name your plants? Do you even have plants? Do you step on the cracks of sidewalks? Do you avoid them? Do you say that to yourself as you do it? I want to know all these things. I want to know how their mind works. I don't really care about their day. I just want to know, like, can I work with somebody and like they'll be like my creative match. I don't want to be with somebody that's gonna like crush my soul. So that's the most important thing to me. So I just feel like over and over and over again that like people love to participate in my crap, like how I run things, like how I lay out the rules, how I play the games, how I create the games, how I invite them into my world, how I allow them to do certain things within my world, but then they don't allow me into theirs. There's no games, there's no play. There's only like, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like I don't want them to come visit. I don't want them to come visit my world. If you just want to visit my world for a little bit and you're super fun, then fine. But if you're gonna stay for a while, you gotta have your own world and invite me into it so we can make our own little thing together. I want to have my world too. I want you to have yours. But I want to be able to have this third thing with somebody. This thing that just you and I create. I don't know. I just get so disappointed with people. Because I see what they can do. And I see that they're being lazy. Because I see what they can do because they like my world. And they participate in my world really nicely. but like left to their own devices, they'll just be lazy and go to sleep. I had a roommate like that. If I provoked her, and if I could like talk to her, I would present different things to her. And she would be really fascinating. Sometimes she wouldn't be super nuanced, and we'd talk about that. And it's okay to not be super nuanced all the time, but it was just interesting, right? It was just interesting to like watch how she participated in conversations if I led the way. And then if I led the path of tangents or whatever. That's not always fun for me. I guess that's why I make these videos. It's like, this is how I do it, and I just want more people to be free to just do it. It's not like I'm teaching you how I do it. It's just like, it's okay to like interact like this because people like it. I don't know if it's like enjoyable over like a long period of time. I do think that I have friends that enjoy it over a long period of time, but I don't know if everybody enjoys it. But I also know that not everybody enjoys like interacting in a really like standard way. They're looking for something new and exciting. Sometimes they find me new and exciting, but I just wish that other people would like show me their world, their complexities, or like whatever they're doing. But they just don't. Like this guy that I went on a date with, he was like really excited to like be in a participant in me getting to know him from a variety of questions, but he didn't really ask me anything other than, and you? What about you? Why don't you just turn this on you and answer your own question? It's like, no. I only want to answer questions that you're actually curious about, not because you're being mentally lazy. So sometimes I think about it, is it a problem? Is it a problem that people don't have? Is it a curiosity problem? Or is it they just don't have like the, like they don't want to know those things? They don't want to know their own things? Or is it like a problem with like, this way of interacting is strange? So therefore, people don't know how to like do it. Like there's too many unknowns. Like I don't care about the rules because there is none. If you follow a normal line of like asking and a normal line of things, there's all these rules. There's etiquette rules, there's cultural rules, you know, like there's first date rules, like you're not supposed to say these sorts of things. But like when you play my game or when you are invited into my world, there's like new rules, new games. And it's like, there's so many things that you don't know how to act. And so the only thing that you know to do is to answer honestly and to answer genuinely, because you don't know. This is where you should lie, because this is how she's asking this, you know? I don't know what this question means, you know? Like this is just a question that's interesting. Let's just talk about it, right? There's no like second guessing. It's just very straightforward. It's just like, I'm curious about this and this is why, and then give me an answer. There's no like, here's a ready-made answer for this, because I've been asked this like 50 times, and this is what you ask on a date. And this is how you present yourself in the best way. All that's thrown out the window when I ask these things to people. And it's just like this spontaneous fun, but like people don't know how to do that to me, because like they don't even know that you can play this. I keep calling it a game, but it's not a game. It's just like, what do you want to know? What are you curious about? If you were no longer afraid of like rejection, or if you were at baseline, just trying to have an interesting conversation human to human about something that you actually cared about, what would you ask them? Right? Like, I sometimes wish I could just go up to people and just be like, what are you working on? Sometimes I overhear people at Whole Foods and I listen to their business meetings and stuff. Sometimes I think their ideas are really stupid. And it's like, oh, but you have a business. So then it reminds me that stupid people can have businesses too. Which inspires me, because I'm like, you don't have to be intelligent in order to be successful. You just have to be good at certain things. That just like makes me think about stuff. I wish people would just like be okay with being bad at trying something new, I guess. It's like the children building the sandcastles like Ethan Hawke was talking about. I just wish that people would just like try. Because dating is so boring. Everyone hates it. Everyone complains. But like, it doesn't have to be boring or soul-sucking or exhausting or whatever. It can be invigorating and it can be really fun. And even if you're not compatible, like, you can still enjoy learning about something about another person, and like, that's it. It doesn't have to mean anything romantic. If you've decided that like that's not, you know, you have no sexual chemistry, like no physical chemistry or whatever, once you've met in person, you can still take something from this situation. You do not have to, you just don't have to do the normal thing. You just don't have to. The normal thing is so boring. Oh my god. I'm gonna go out on my porch now though, because like the sun is setting. Anyways, I hope that you have a great weekend and that you're up to something amazing and that you're also enjoying the end of summer. So I will see you next Friday. I think by the time that you see this, I will already have been moved. So maybe the next couple of videos I'll still film here, because I have a lot of creative free time and there's downtime before I move. So eventually you'll see my new setup. I don't know what my new setup is gonna look like, but you'll see it. You'll see it when you see it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week.